Good morning, everyone. It's Karen. How are you? For those of you who are new, welcome. For those of you who are old, thank you for coming back. Thank you all for stopping in this morning. We have a little coffee with Karen. This morning, I wanted to touch base a little bit. I know I have before about, I retired at 62 and how's it going so far? Well, the catalyst that really brought that on was I got shingles at 60. 30 days after my 60th birthday, I started having some issues and I thought it was kidney stones because I've had them before, runs in the family. And within a few days, I was kind of wondering from all the pain, where's the baby that goes with this? Why didn't I have a baby? Well, that started on a Monday. By Thursday, I was wondering where the baby was. And by Friday, the rash showed up. And at first, I didn't have a clue. I was like, oh, great, shingles, let's add insult to injury with having kidney stones and shingles. Well, so I did a little research and found out that it wasn't kidney stones, it was shingles. Not fun. Now at that time, I was a private housekeeper on my own. And I had, oh gosh, I don't even know how many homes. I had some big homes where there were young families living in them. I was also doing a lot of cleaning for seniors, people who are retired. Well, of course, I had to cancel all my cleaning jobs because I couldn't work. I was in so much pain. Within the first 2 weeks, I literally dropped all my big homes. And by October, which was like 2 months later, I had stopped cleaning altogether. I just wasn't doing well. It really affected everything that was already going on. Because I had said when I turned 60, I would retire because I'd been physically working my entire life and I was exhausted. I was in pain, mentally and emotionally. It was a mixed bag of nuts. So getting shingles was really the catalyst of me starting to really get into my retirement. But I kept trying. So even though I stopped cleaning, I started working at one of the Amazon facilities that was at the time offering flex positions. You could pick, it was part-time flex, so I didn't have to do or work any more than 19 hours per month, but I could work up to 40 hours a week if I chose to. So I went part-time. I started doing it about 20 hours a week, and I did pretty good for about, 5 or 6 months. And then at this particular facility, you're running around with a cart and you have bins to put them in. And when you put your stuff that you've picked in the bins, you put it on the line, it goes off to get packed away to all the customers out there in the world. After about 5 or 6 months, I started getting scheduled to go upstairs. And what I mean by upstairs is there are 2 other levels. So there's 3 levels altogether. The bottom floor, the first floor, of course, the second floor, and the third floor. Well, when you're scheduled to work a shift, you're not just on one level. They can run you all night or all day up and down those stairs. You can go to the third level to pick one item to put on the line, go back down to the first floor. Pick a couple items, go to the second floor. And it can be like that all night long, up and down the stairs. Well, within a couple of weeks, my knees were pretty much crashing out on me, which I'd never had happen before. And I found myself in a situation where I had to go to HR and ask if there could be any accommodations. And the only way to do that was for me to go to the doctor. I didn't have a doctor. I didn't want to go to the doctor. But I understood where they were coming from. So I left. I chose to try a couple other facilities where it wasn't a forklift I was driving. I can't remember what they were called. But it would get you up on different levels to pick. You didn't have to walk, you were driving. But having to stand on those in one place, even though you're driving, for whatever your shift was, didn't go very well. I think I lasted a month at the first place. So then I tried a different place where I did grocery picking. And you had to go into freezers where you had to be suited up, and that didn't go. Needless to say, I tried a couple other facilities. I'm pretty sure Amazon has banned me for life, and I don't blame them. So that went on for about a year. And then My dad passed away before Christmas in 2022, and I was in between jobs. So I was informed he was ill. I ran up to Wisconsin, and he passed away within a few days of my being there. He had cancer. He didn't know. Nobody knew. So I come back down to Indiana, and I pick up a part-time job at a Walmart cleaning overnights, and I didn't last 2 weeks. I was literally dragging my legs and my feet because I couldn't pick my feet up. I was a mess. So not only was I physically a mess, I was emotionally and mentally a mess too. So I told my kids, look, I'm going to, because I hadn't planned on retiring early. I had planned on working as long as possible. But at this point, I was mentally in such a state that I had to stop. So I told my kids I'm going to apply for my benefits early, and so I did. I did pick up a few cleaning jobs from people I had been cleaning for previously, but I let them know, look, this isn't permanent. I don't know how long I'll be able to do this. So within a year, I retired. I stopped cleaning. And the people I've been cleaning for, like I said, were people I had cleaned for before. They were all retired. They understood. So that began my retirement. And I felt, within a 6 months, a year, 18 months, I'd probably be well enough to go back to work, at least part-time. And that still hasn't happened. Still hasn't happened. I feel like I'm doing all right. And I actually would like to pick up a part-time job, but I live farther away from Indianapolis than I am comfortable with finding a job for. I could find something closer to me, like a half an hour, 15 minutes from me, but I know I don't want to stay out here. This isn't my permanent home. I like the house. I'm really good with the house for the most part, even though there's part of the house I don't live in anymore. So anyway, that's how I began scaling down to retirement. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't necessarily want to. I knew I didn't have much in my savings, very little, and but I had to. I took the risk, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I still feel I have enough time to pull myself together and find a job. I would like to go back to cleaning, but not residential cleaning or commercial cleaning like I did in Wisconsin. I would clean possibly for seasonal vacation rentals part-time during the season. Maybe I'll do something like that next year if I can move closer to Indianapolis. I don't want to live right in Indianapolis. I wouldn't mean like a half an hour or so away from the kids. And that's the other thing too. I had grandma duty last weekend, Mima duty, and I didn't want to come back because I wanted to be up there. I wanted to be with the kids. When I was living closer to them, I saw them more often, but now I'm only seeing them every month or so, or every 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, and that's just not good enough. Just not good enough. So I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. What's my first step? I don't know. Figure it out. I thought about contacting a realtor. There's several, of course, in my area. And one's a gentleman who is a vet. And so I'm considering that because my dad was a vet. My sons are vets. One of them is still in. And figuring out what my first steps could be. Because this is my first experience and I didn't enjoy the experience. I'm hoping to find somebody who will guide me into a better experience. So anyway, that's why I retired early. Shingles just got the better of me. And I still actually have some issues with it here and there. The side bothers me every now and then, but I know that there's nothing really going on. So anyway, thank you for stopping in with Coffee with Karen and letting me shoot the breeze for a little bit. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you again soon. Bye.